Namaste, Angels. This is the weekly reading. It is 7:07 p.m., so I'm super late. 7:07 does equal 14, which equals 5, though. Today's the 5th. That may be significant for somebody or for all of us. Could be about change. There's a couple of feast days on the Christian and the Hebrew calendar that would signify not necessarily change, but blessings this week. Maybe that is change for some of us. Anyway, starting with the dice, we got no, buy shoes, romantic dinner, and I think it says love play. It's very tiny. I don't have on my glasses. It looks like love play. And Spirit says, try again, which I will. 29, spiritual partnership. Massage, self-care. And your choice, which means the other person's choice. Not yours or mine, but the other person or people involved in our situations or scenarios. The cards, we're starting with separation. Then we have the Ace of Pentacles and the Queen of Swords. So the Ace of Pentacles could be signifying the blessings that I was talking about. Like, for example, on the Christian calendar, it's the feast of the Pentecost this week, which is when the Holy Spirit is said to have descended upon the apostles and other followers of Jesus. So that's, a blessing, obviously, And it could also be about just abundance that's coming in any form. Yeah, I think it is. In any form, whether it's money or love or both. And then speaking of your choice, we have the 7 of Cups here. And the next card is the 5 of Pentacles. So somebody's like no longer feeling left out in the cold, no longer feeling like they're being fed, breadcrumbs and piecemeal. But there's a choice that has to be made. Choice could be about you or a relationship. Choice could be between, more than one job offer or opportunity for, income or money. Could be between 2 or more love interests. So maybe it's between you and somebody else, or you're choosing between, 2 or more people. But again, the die said your choice is in like the other person is making the choice. So maybe somebody's choosing between maybe you're specifically a female and or the feminine in the scenario, and it's the masculine who's making the choice, because we got the Queen of Cups here. Whether that's the case or not, the Queen of Cups could be representative of an actual water sign in your life, including yourself, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. This is not about a choice or decision to narrow something down to one. Could also be about like several goals that we're attempting to reach, and we're trying to figure out like what to prioritize. Here we have separation, no contract, 5D, dreams, nightmares, focus on your own happiness. I think that separation, is coming to an end though for a lot of people, and that could be part of the abundance. The next card is control. So like somebody trying to hold on to, maybe trying to be in separation, trying to avoid connections and stuff. But I think that's beginning to like wear thin. Stagnation, delusion, release the need to control situations. And when you let go, separation will end. I think also I've been having like thoughts about people not realizing that, like when you see the 8 of Swords, for example, and tarot readers will say, oh, it looks like you're trapped or you feel trapped, but you're really not. You can get yourself out. And a lot of these scenarios are probably like, how the hell can I get myself out? I've been having these thoughts lately of people not realizing that, for example, if they're in separation, and maybe they're in separation because they feel like they don't have enough money, to be in a relationship or whatever, but it's like they both, one is like contingent upon the other. Like if you become brave enough to say, I'm leaving the separation, I'm going to reach out to this person and, you know, fix the relationship with them or whatever, then this other issue will also open up. Like the flow will also open up. Like they're all, like I said, like one is contingent upon the other. Like the universe is waiting for you to be brave enough. Like you ever spend money sometimes that you didn't really feel like you had, and you maybe, you know, think about it and toss it around, and you finally decide, okay, screw it, I'm going to trust in the universe, trust myself, trust God, that everything's going to be fine. I'm going to go ahead and spend this money on this thing. And then like minutes later, or, you know, within the day or days later, you know, like almost immediately, you get that amount of money back or more. So it's like you didn't even really spend anything. It's like that. You know, like if you're willing to take the risk, if you're brave enough to take the risk, if you're, you know, ready to let go of fear and to not be in fear anymore and to just move forward the way you're guided to move, even if it's just something as simple as you're guided to make a purchase and you don't feel like you can really afford it, going through with it, then once you do that, you're demonstrating to the universe that you do believe, that you do have confidence, that you do trust in yourself and in it. And then you'll get this other blessing, like the flow for the other stuff will open up too. So maybe more people will be really not realizing that. Hopefully they will. And going ahead and coming out of separation. And then you'll find that other areas of your life also improve. And then with this last pile, we got the Queen of Swords here. And it's the Queen of Swords most directly represents the sign of Aquarius, and it is really feeling very Aquarius-ish, whatever that means, but it does. Maybe because of Saturn. Saturn entered Aquarius last week and went retrograde there, actually. Experienced, self-sufficient, brilliant, and funny. All your life experiences have prepared you for this moment of truth. It's time to declutter your home, to clear away situations that aren't working for you anymore, and to disengage from people who create more drama than happiness. And then we have Temperance, Major Arcana card 14, which is also 5. Like I said, today is the 5th, and I was just saying it was 707 when I started the reading, which equal 14, which equal 5, and maybe that was significant. Maybe it has something to do with Temperance, which is also Aquarius energy for me. Yes, traditional tarot represents the sign of Sagittarius, and I recognize that too. And we do have on the 14th today, not today, this week, we do have a full moon in Sagittarius, so it could be about that too, but definitely Aquarius vibes, Sagittarius vibes with this card. By merging varying points of view, you can generate an extraordinary new idea, compromise with others, and collaborate to discover a better solution. Behind that, we have the 8 of Cups. So somebody walked away from something or someone, and maybe now they're feeling sort of sorry that they did. They could be feeling regretful that they did and ready to, you know, instead collaborate, look past each other's differences and move forward. Could be. If you're not really ready to do that, the Queen of Swords is ready to tell you to kick rocks and go that way, because she's good at that. But I also feel it should be welcoming if that was the case. 8 of Cups, you feel that there's more to life than what you're living, so it's time to move on. You may be moving from a situation that isn't good for you, or perhaps you're being drawn to what would make you happy. Either way, you are in control. The next card is the King of Swords. So yeah, somebody could want to come forward and say something, maybe explain something, maybe apologize for having walked away. And like I said, they're ready to maybe fix the situation. King of Swords, like the Queen of Swords, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. It could be Mercury also. Mercury just went direct a couple days ago, 3 days ago, in Taurus, and will be moving into Gemini, not this week, next week's reading. The King of Swords is intelligent, impartial, respected, and unemotional. At this time, it's very important that you communicate clearly, be objective and unemotional, and act as professionally as possible. If you need advice, seek out the most experienced expert that you can find. And then we have the Tower. Important changes are coming into your life that will require you to take action. The changes, the 5, maybe. Don't hesitate to move in new directions that you know are right for you. So going the other direction, starting with this major change or revelation in your life, could have got you thinking and feeling like you need to be more fair or to say something, to speak up. King of Swords says what he means what he says, and he tends to be, when he's in a healthy space and energy, because of course even air signs can, and air sign males and masculines can get funky too, but when he's in his right, proper energy, he's very good at fairly like assessing the situation and being very neutral about it, like this was right, this was wrong, including, you know, about himself. So could be ready to do that. And explaining why he walked away from something or toward something else. Or being ready to walk towards something, toward a collaboration and cooperation, and looking beyond differences that he realizes now don't matter. Possibly with the Queen of Swords. Or this could be representative of a soulmate relationship of any zodiac, you know, dynamic. When you have the king and queen of any given suit together, it tends to represent soulmate relationships, you know, like I said, of any sign. So we have the queen crowning. All right. What I want to tell you all this week. I can probably talk to you about the Christian holidays instead of waiting until after. I'll wait till after. Only because the Pentacles could take a while, possibly. Observe. Then I was not just talking about observing. I said the King of Swords is very good at observing. So somebody could be observing, and maybe observing you on your social media. They could have a fascination with you, be watching you, curiosity, watching from a distance. Maybe this person, this masculine, again, that is in separation from you, whether that's in a romantic way or a friend you haven't spoken to in a while or a family member or something, they could be looking into you and maybe trying to get up the courage to contact you or something, invite you out for coffee possibly. Or some kind of, you know, to talk. Could be romantic dinner like the dice said too. Maybe to talk about collaborating again. The healing energy that the Temperance was talking about. Now here, again, we started with the Ace of Pentacles, which is abundance. And it could very well be emotional abundance or something connected to a relationship. Could be money also, could be both. Again, it may involve a choice, perhaps, that you have to make, but according to the die, it's the other person's choice. Not my choice, your choice. And in any case, we're no longer feeling, you know, sort of left out in the cold. We're ready to get out and about and do things, and our money situation is improving and all that too, which again can take us right back to this. So like any worrying that we've been doing should stop. We should stop. You don't want to manifest, and you know, maybe because you were disappointed in the past, don't hold on to that energy. Like allow yourself to change, allow things to change, the energy to change, and for you to move into a more abundant space. You know, maybe they've been going through a lot of challenges lately. Another 5. We're seeing a lot of 5s in the cards so far. 5 of Pentacles, 5 of Cups, now 5 of Swords. Everything's fine, though. You know, those cards are usually about challenge and trouble and stuff, but everything's fine. New overall energy is the Queen of Wands in reverse, followed by the Fool upright. And I do feel that this has to do for some people, this is definitely a relationship, and the Queen of Wands is out. Whoever she represents, she's out. And we're taking a risk on a new situation. Otherwise, the Queen of Wands, the Queen of Wands could be us too, in alternative situations, and we're not living up to our potential for whatever reason. We're not being as brave and confident and everything as we should be. Queen of Wands may also be a direct fire sign in your life, Leo, Sagittarius, or Aries, or someone like into those traits or attributes. Again, here we had the Queen of Swords, a Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius. We also had that Sagittarius energy with Temperance. And here's the Aquarius energy. What am I saying? I feel Aquarius. What it's all about. Well, our overall energy is Major Arcana card 17, the Star, which represents the sign of Aquarius. Is also a healing energy, similar to Temperance for me sometimes. Happy times, make positive, optimistic, long-term plans. You are on the right path. This card can also be about online and tech, and somebody, again, checking you out and observing you, following you on social media, watching you, maybe reading your statuses to see what's going on with you or something, because maybe they want to heal a relationship, as we've been discussing, or heal a situation, whether it's romantic or it's familial, it's friendship, whatever it is. But we had been in a Three of Swords space, possibly a space of separation, and, wanting to heal that. So we're up now to the Four, having begun to heal. It's time to rest or take a vacation. Allow more time before making a decision. Meditation may provide answers. So somebody, again, could be thinking, needing to make a decision about that Seven of Cups that we saw. It involves emotion, it involves love, it involves feelings based on the Queen of Cups that was also there, but leading to the Ace of Pentacles. So this is something we want to do. Here's another King of Swords showing up. He is brilliant, impartial, professional, and diplomatic. Speak your mind with confidence. Seek out professional advice and balance mental and emotional considerations. Followed by the Knight of Pentacles. Knight of Pentacles always reaches his goal. He's approaching something slowly but surely, and he's going to get it done. He's loyal, dedicated, honorable, and kind. It's time to buckle down and get things done. Like I said, honor your commitments. You have a guardian angel. So the King of Swords, again, maybe a Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius. The Knight of Pentacles may be a Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn, or someone like into those traits or attributes. This person may be involved in your past somehow, whether it's a relative, like I said, because I'm feeling that's a possibility for some. It could be especially not only a relative, but maybe particularly a sibling or something. Or for others who it's for a relationship, a close friendship, or a romantic situation. Could be somebody from your past you haven't seen in a while, and they're ready to come back, or you're ready to have them back. And I think that, Saturn retrograde is going to be doing that. It's going to be helping things to come back, people and things to come back that we need going forward, whether it's for another phase or, permanent, to the degree that life is at all permanent, for the long haul or for another, short phase. And it's also, again, going to be sort of like removing things, maybe with a similar permanence. All right, so let's pull some cards. Card most directly representing us this week is the Four of Wands in reverse. Four of Wands in reverse is still a wonderful card. Almost as good as the Four of Wands upright. Similarly, the King of Wands in reverse isn't necessarily a bad thing either. This is representing surrounding energy. So maybe similar to the Queen of Wands. Like I said, I felt like first that for the most part, she wasn't representative of us. She was representative of somebody surrounding us, and perhaps somebody that is going to be leaving our life. This king is now showing up also in reverse, but he's here in the surrounding energies placement. Work and finance, we have the Knight of Wands upright. So this could be tied to that Ace of Pentacles, right? An opportunity is coming in for us to make some money in work and finance area. Love and relationship, death. Now, death doesn't have to be bad. Death could be, goodbye, an end to the phase that we had been in, which perhaps is separation for some of us. Remember I said I felt like some people are going to come out of separation. So death is about the end of a phase. It could be the end of that phase, and they're ready to return. As a matter of fact, let's pull another one. Let's see what it says. It's the Five of Pentacles in reverse. So people are ready to get moving again. Boom. I don't just talk out of my butt. Physical health. The King of Pentacles in reverse. Some of us could be working too hard, like, stressing yourself out, making yourself unwell. You need to do other stuff too. Last but not least, spiritual health. And it's major arcana card strength. Doesn't get much better than that. Represents the sign of Leo, of course. Everything in frame, yes. I want to bring our other decks into the view too, because I want us to remember that we have some very positive overall energies with these other decks as well. I didn't do a very good job with this deck. Can we see that now? All right, that's the star. You can't really see it. I do also want to point out that we have, again, I was just talking about when you have two of the same suit, the king and queen of the same suit, it tends to signify that there's something going on in a romantic relationship, a partnership, a soulmate relationship even. And we do have the Queen of Wands in reverse as the overall energy, and the King of Wands in reverse in the position of our surrounding energy. So for some of us, this is us or connected to us in a more, immediate and direct way. And it could be somebody who's, because of somebody who's closely tied to us in our surrounding energy, close friends, family members, co-workers, and things of that nature. So traditional tarot, right? Generally, the Queen of Wands reverse can indicate that there's soon going to be a need for us to help people, someone or some people around us. Again, could be this person who's having some kind of issue, having some sort of problem of some kind. Not really getting what that problem may be. We can pull another card or from one of the decks to try to narrow it down somewhat. But whatever the case, we're going to want to help. It could be also that we're the ones in a situation and an older, likely older woman, female, or feminine energy perhaps, would like to help us with the situation that we're facing. But the fact that she's in reverse will likely mean that if that's the case, she wants to help us, but for some reason she can't. This is like my mother. Like she's like she always wants to help me with stuff and send me money and all kinds of whatnot. I ask her, whether I ask her or not, which I don't ask her. So I shouldn't even say whether I ask her or not. I should just say I don't ask her. But she's always like, oh, you should get a new, I don't know, XYZ. You work so hard, you need a new blah, blah, blah. Right? And she wants to send me money and stuff. But she's not really in the position to, because she's still she's not in the hospital. But she's still, coming back to herself. She's well, but she's still getting all her strength back and stuff like that. So like, Mama Nola, you just take care of you. You know what I mean? All the progress you've made, we want to keep that going. We don't want anything negative. You just worry about you. So it could be something like that, like somebody that wants to help you, and again, perhaps an older female. My mom's not a fire sign, but that was just the first example that I could think of. that wants to help people. For some reason, they're unable. Okay. But her moral support, her emotional support. So think again of that Queen of Cups, which my mother is the Queen of Cups. It's going to be helpful. If she's only able to give you that, that's still going to be very, very helpful. So if you're facing some sort of difficult situation and she's not contacted you, she's not reaching out to you, reach out to this person, and maybe your own mother or mother-in-law, or maybe you have an older sibling or something, or friend. The traditional tarot basically says this woman is helpful and kind, and again, maybe you, depending upon your scenario, or maybe representative of a woman. It's typically going to be a woman in your life, and probably older than you. Maybe even older to the fact that she has like gray hair at this point or something. If not, she tends to be described as a woman with lighter hair. So for some of you, may be able to like actually pinpoint this down, and because I don't know why I'm being made to go into such a description. It might be for somebody so they can actually figure out who this person in their lives is. But she's considered to be very supportive and a giving person. And no matter what, with the Queen of Wands, I want to say also, especially since we have the King here also, it's always a card of fertility, whether she's upright or in reverse. For some, since we have the Four of Wands also in reverse, maybe there's a baby coming this week. Maybe the baby's late. It's delayed. Sometimes reversals can be about delay. Maybe the baby's late, but it'll come this week if you've been waiting for it. Yeah. I don't see any swords. I was going to say maybe it'll be induced or something, but I don't see any swords like that would signify, that gives me hospital vibes and stuff like that. So maybe it'll come naturally this week, but it's late. Somebody could be later in life also, getting some sort of surprise news. The King especially can be about surprise news. And we do have, again, the Star here, which is about wish fulfillment. So surprise news about a pregnancy or about, fertility that could be successful if you want to look into having a child. Four of Wands, even in reverse, also, like I said, very positive. Basically in any context or any area of your life, there could be some sort of celebration or party, something that's coming up, some sort of event that's going to be joyous, like pregnancy or, giving the birth of a baby. Like happiness and love is in the air, so to speak. Also, it can be about unexpected good fortune. So like I said, maybe you weren't expecting to be fertile or to be pregnant, but here you are. You weren't expecting money to come in or a new job offer to come in, but here it is. And again, we have the Star here. So that's all making a lot of sense between the reverse King and Queen of Wands, the Four of Wands, the Star. This is the type of thing that you're going to see. The Five of Pentacles, even the fact that it's in reverse is positive. All kinds of good fortune and things, coming into your life. The caveat with the Four of Wands being in reverse is that there's a reminder that it still doesn't mean that you just, not put any effort in and don't do any hard work, because you still have to do that too in order for, things to continue. But something's on its way to you. The King of Wands reversed in this placement of surrounding energy. Somebody around you, close to you, could have more energy than they normally do, or you may have more energy than you normally would or expected to have to be able to help them. If they're the ones with the additional energy, they're probably also the kind of person that is, again, kind, similar to what I said about the Queen of Wands in reverse. Kind, tolerant, understanding, maybe patient even, although you don't think of really patience when you think about fire signs necessarily, but more than enough energy to get what's needed, to do with what you have to accomplish out of the way. So this could be, again, applying to somebody who's around you, or you may have enough energy to do your work and to help them with theirs. Or again, somebody that is older, and in this case, male or masculine energy, and again, possibly older to the fact that they are light-haired, as in white-haired or gray-haired even. They could play a helpful or possibly even important role in your life this week. But for some, the important role, I mean, it's playing together. Again, this could be a mother and father and child that's coming into the world, family that's being established. The King of Wands can also signify a man who has, like, the reason why he's so kind, warm, understanding toward other people is because he's been through a lot in his own life. So this is as a result, like, he knows how it is. And so he's experienced empathy from other people. So he is empathetic to others and their situations and problems. And now that he's sort of in a position where maybe he can be of help to other people, he is. That doesn't necessarily mean that he's, a rich person or whatever. I know a homeless guy, a formerly homeless guy, long time homeless. He is now known as the homeless hero and has been in newspapers and magazines like around the country. He's helping people now, and he's working with our new mayor to establish like a voucher program for currently homeless people to help them get housed the way he's been housed. So it could be something like that. Although the homeless hero that I know, he's a Gemini, like myself. As a matter of fact, his birthday's coming up, right after mine. Anyway, he's just likely to have like a great deal of energy, but as he's matured, he's begun to understand that not everyone can match his energy and match his pace, or keep up, as you say. So it could be something like that too. Oh, you can't keep up. I don't know. That just like struck me that means something. That somebody can't keep up. I don't know. When the card doesn't necessarily signify a literal person in your life, then it tends to more so refer to, again, an energetic feeling and the tendency to maybe be sort of lenient, and not necessarily, like the King of Wands upright, we all recognize him as like a stern figure, right? No nonsense kind of person. In reverse, just maybe more lenient and, again, tolerant. If this is in regard to children, your children, it's involving children or something, then we have to think carefully whether or not leniency is the best policy in whatever case, whatever scenario it is you're dealing with, or is the best sort of response to them in this moment right now. In work with the Knight of Wands, you may be asked to travel in connection to your job. And this, if you are, this should go well. And they shouldn't all be like work. You should have some actual enjoyable moments in there too, especially with the Four of Wands being the card that most directly represents us this week. Any work news that you're getting this week is good. So if you're unemployed and you're looking for a job, that's good. If you applied for a promotion, you're waiting for an interview or something, or you're waiting for results of the interview you already had, or something like that. Maybe you took a test for some of these jobs. You got to take a test. Maybe a wait list has reopened up where they're making the test available. Like I know here in New York City, people wait to see like the test for sanitation, or maybe the police or the fire department or something like that. Something could have opened up. Whatever it is, if you're waiting for, like I said, results specifically for something you already applied for, you are likely to hear that you got the position. And then not only did you get not only did you get the position, but this will be very good for you. So not only like you're getting a job, but it's a good job for you to have. It's like, you know, in terms of finances specifically, money should be flowing more easily during this time than maybe it has been. And so that could be the blessing that we saw in the beginning with the Ace of Pentacles. Even if that's the case though, if you're able to, you want to be sure to save at least a little bit, and maybe cut expenses where you're able to. You know how they say, like, for a rainy day and stuff like that. And the Five of Pentacles in reverse in love can mean that you may not even know why, but for some reason you are feeling better than you have been. So like I said, this Queen of Wands, for example, and being more energetic could apply to you in this scenario. You're just feeling more energetic. You're ready to go out. You're ready to meet somebody, you know, or you're ready to put some effort back into a relationship or something like that. Like if you feel like something that has been holding you back for a while, like you're suddenly like breaking free from it, suddenly you just feel more open to love, relationships, maybe more able to take a chance, you know, with your heart, with your emotions, and of being vulnerable. And when this happens, like, it's pretty much almost magically we find ourselves receiving more love, like when we do that. Just like I was saying before, like if I was getting these messages and having these thoughts about, if you're willing to take the chance in this one area, then this other area is, you know, you take this risk and the universe is going to help you with the rest. You get this far on your own, and the universe will say that, use that as an example. Okay, it trusts me. You know, this person trusts me. Now we can go to the next stage. And so this other thing is going to open up too. So you're just feeling more open to love. Again, that results in more love showing up in your life, which is positive, of course. And you receiving more love. So be open. If you're already, you know, committed in some sort of relationship, it may suddenly become more closer, more deeper, more joyous, you know, happy, pleasing, satisfying. The only, I don't want to say problem, but like caveat, like I said with this one, that I guess could be seen as maybe negative with this card, is that it can point to, like, if your relationship has been built on this sort of it's us against the cruel world, you know, in order to like survive. The card calls for a change in that kind of attitude. How can I explain this? Because you might say, like, what's wrong with that? You know, like Tupac's Me Against the World. Like, you know, and that's definitely Gemini energy. We're very happy and content to do everything on our own. And maybe that's the problem with it. Maybe that's how I should explain it. You got to be sort of more open to, again, receiving love in all of its forms from all around you. And, you know, not just being the giver, not just being the doer, but also receiving. So, yeah. I think I did a pretty good job explaining it, actually. So health, as I alluded to before, this is probably tied to stress. This King of Pentacles in reverse may involve an actual earth sign, of course. Court cards can always, you know, point to actual people in our lives. In this case, maybe even specifically, you know, an earth sign, not just a person, but a Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. And basically, this card shows up in this placement to say that our health can be improved if we make it a point, we decide to, you know, open up, again, be vulnerable, and maybe vent, and release any like negative feelings or talk about them, you know, let them out, rather than holding them in. Because again, holding in these things and holding in stress or holding in these emotions leads to stress, which can lead to, you know, physical manifestations of poor health, right? Stress, it causes heart attacks. Stress causes strokes. Stress causes high blood pressure. Stress causes headaches. So stress causes hormone disruption, things like cortisol to overly develop, be produced, and stuff like that. So you got to be careful, and this is very earth sign, so it makes sense that it's associated with the King of Pentacles. You got to be careful about this way of thinking of yourself as like a failure just because you haven't necessarily met all of your goals or certain goals that you set for yourself. So it's like, yeah, I'm the manager, but I'm not the owner. Meanwhile, you climbed up from being the janitor. Like, earth signs often have this way about them where they don't celebrate themselves for all the accomplishments that they do have. They're just worried all the time about the accomplishment that they have not been successful at yet. And for some, in some ways, I think that could probably be a motivator. Like, I still don't have that yet, so I'm going to keep going for it. So that's positive, but it has to be in balance. When we're beating ourselves up for not having accomplished things, when we've accomplished plenty and we're not really recognizing those things and celebrating ourselves for the things that we have done well or right or whatever, that's a self-harm. That's a self-harm. And we could benefit greatly from, just letting it out, basically. Letting it out and sort of honoring ourselves, paying homage to ourselves, just caring, loving ourselves, befriending ourselves just as we are today, right now, and as a result, a consequence of that, our health can improve. And maybe massage comes up here, because that's part of self-care. So like treating yourself rather than, and taking care of yourself and, celebrating yourself rather than worrying about what you haven't done yet or what you don't have yet, what you don't own yet. Because the King of Pentacles is also somebody who's typically pretty successful. So he should be quite happy with himself. Spirituality, strength. So strength is a card that's just awesome no matter whether it's upright, reverse, any placement, any area of your life that it shows up in. This is no different, of course. So in spirituality, this is probably a very spiritual time for you, for us. Even if we sort of like don't have anything close to a spiritual belief or a religious belief, or we just don't even know where we are as far as that stuff. It's still like a very enlightened time. To truly be strong, we have to like pay attention to, all areas of our life, like mind, body, spirit, and take care of all of these different components. And so this card shows up to just remind us that we need to spend time on all three. And that's, that sometimes can be challenging. And it's the hardest to do when things are difficult in our lives. So it should be, again, this week looks like things are improving for those who, who they haven't been good for. And, even for those for whom they have, like things are getting better. If you're already, again, for example, in a committed relationship, that relationship should be getting better. If you're single and you don't want to be single, it's a good time for you to meet somebody. Money should be coming in. Your job, maybe even, maybe even getting a new job or a transfer or promotion or sent to, to travel. So, again, things are improving when things, were not, so until that happens, maybe for some of us, it's the hardest to do. We tend to put effort where we feel we can afford to put it, when we're trying to juggle and stuff like that. But this is a good week for you to really stop and smell the roses, as they say, and make sure that we're taking care of all three. It's like a reminder that you're strong, probably stronger than you think, and that you can afford to take care of yourself in all of these areas. And that's what we have from there. I want to not put these too far away, but move them and look at some others. Can I do that? Do I have enough space to do that? Let's see. I just want us to be reminded of what was here. Well, I didn't even talk about, well, I mean, I guess I did in the moment when I pulled another card. But our card was really death, not just the Five of Pentacles. So again, yes, some phase has ended. Some, maybe for some, even a relationship ended. Or it could be separation that ended. Whatever ended, it's a good thing, because that has led us to this place, this time where we're ready to move forward. Maybe what ended is just the fact that, you know, we wanted to sit home and say, oh, well, it was me. We don't want to do that anymore. That's ended. Maybe something specifically involving a Scorpio, with death representing the sign of Scorpio, has ended. Whether that's a separation or hard feelings that we were holding on to, or whatever it is. So... okay, I just want to look at these in terms of the week. Already shuffled, crowning the masculine this week. We have marriage. So again, maybe he is thinking about not necessarily getting married. Maybe for some, yes, because we do have the King of Wands, the Queen of Wands, the Four of Wands. For some, could be actual engagement and actual marriage, or both happening this week for some people, or entering some sort of contractual agreement, commitment, stepping up, or our commitment to the next level, our relationship to the next level, legal partnership, commitment, marital bond, and societal contract. For some, it could have something to do with business or work, because a societal contract, that we're entering something that is positive. So that's good. That's crowning the masculine. Crowning the feminine, we have surrender, detach, trust, free fall, have faith that all will be well. This is basically what I've been talking about since I started. When I was saying, again, the feelings that I was getting about if we have faith and we take a risk, then the next thing is going to happen. Surrounding the masculine, we have denial. It was in reverse. But there's no reversals in this deck, so I'm turning it right side up. Repressed emotions, rejection, unable to see below the surface. So this may be people that, again, are holding things in, are holding in negative emotions, maybe like the King of Pentacles, and or people who are being afraid to take the leap. So again, he's encouraged to take the leap and to maybe even enter some sort of contract. Feminine is encouraged to take the leap, surrender, relax, be vulnerable, and let things happen and flow. Surrounding the feminine, we have runner. Escape from emotion and confusion, on the run. There is a runner-chaser dynamic with soulmates sometimes, and certainly with twin flames, what we call twin flames. I mean, if that's what the feminine is doing, again, with the surrender card crowning her, I would say that's saying stop. Like if you're running, stop running, surrender, relax, allow yourself to be caught. So she's going to have to get out of fear, because the runner, whoever that is, I mean, it goes back and forth. We go back and forth with this runner-chaser dynamic. But whoever is the runner at the time, or the chaser too, it's all based in fear, We chase because we feel like we're going to lose the person, and all you're doing when you're chasing is actually pushing them away further. You stay in separation longer, or if you're the runner, you're running away because you're afraid and running away from what would otherwise be a good thing for you. At the root or subconscious of the masculine, we have healing, so that's positive. Self-care, boom, King of Pentacles right there. It's the self-care that's needed. Time out, be gentle with yourself, and be gentle with your twin, so your romantic interest or partner as well, even if that you guys are only connected energetically and not in person at the moment. But again, I think that's going to be changing for a lot of people. With the feminine, our card is vibration, energy and positivity. Raise your vibration to attract what you desire. And again, this is the week for that. We have the Star, wish fulfillment, prayers being answered, wishes being granted, dreams coming true, goals being reached, things being accomplished. Crowning in the middle, we have cycles, momentum, force, life cycles. Stay grounded in the now. At the root or foundation, split energy, options, unfocused, multitasking, decide what you really want. And at the heart of the matter, we have fall. Change is in the air. Your answers arrive in autumn. And that's what we have this week. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. Please do like, share, subscribe, and comment. I do appreciate it. If you want to stick around for a moment, I'm going to open my laptop like I do every week and talk about what else is going on. Okay. There we go. So this week I'll start with the planetary calendar because we don't really have anything to talk about. June 7th at 10:48 a.m. we'll experience the first quarter moon, 16 degrees Virgo. And then there's nothing else until next week's reading when Mercury enters Gemini. And on that same day for some, or the next day for others, depending upon where we are in the world, the full moon in Sagittarius also occurs. So moving on to the Christian calendar, we have today, Sunday the 5th, is the Feast of the Pentecost, as I think I mentioned. And then later in the week, or tomorrow actually, the 6th, which makes total sense, 6/6, is a Feast of Mary, Mother of the Church. And then later in the week, on the 9th, Thursday the 9th, we have the feast day of Jesus Christ, the Eternal High Priest. And on the Hebrew calendar, also today, the 5th, we have Shavuot. So I'll go ahead and start with the Hebrew calendar. What is Shavuot and how is it celebrated? The holiday celebrates the giving of the Torah on Mount Sinai, as well as the grain harvest for the summer in biblical times. Shavuot was one of 3 pilgrimage festivals in which all the Jewish men would go to Jerusalem and bring their first fruits as offerings to God. So I think that, in our current day life, having nothing to do with being Jewish, but similar energies surrounding us, this could be time again, like where the men or the masculine is at least guided to make some sort of step forward. So for example, somebody could get engaged and maybe they'll get married in the fall, something like that. If you want to go more into Shavuot, of course, there's a lot of places. I tend to get mine from www.chabad.org, CHABAD. Moving on to the Christian calendar. Yeah, we have a feast day for Mary. This is not a very old one. In fact, in 2018 is when Pope Francis decreed that the memorial of the Blessed Virgin Mary, Mother of the Church, be inserted into the Roman calendar on the Monday after the Pentecost, which is also known as Whit Monday, and it's to be celebrated every year since that date, says Pope Francis. So that's the feast day that's tomorrow. Thursday again is the feast of, they call it the feast of our Lord Jesus Christ, Eternal High Priest. I do understand he's not everyone's Lord, but the feast of our Lord Jesus Christ, Eternal High Priest, is celebrated on the first Thursday after Pentecost and focuses on Jesus's priestly office. So again, it's recognizing somebody as a man, as an authority, so to speak, but that is like a helper, a believer. So very King of Wands again in reverse. 2 this week, Jesus is considered the model for believers and for the clergy in particular. So, or maybe and for the divine masculine. So the model for believers, the clergy, and with priests acting in persona Christi, which means in the person of Christ. And again, Christ only meant anointed one, so it was Jesus the Christ, with the Christ being an adjective, not his name. So anybody can be Christed, anointed, blessed, although not, necessarily at his vibration or energy. I don't claim to be. Most people can't claim to be. I don't know anybody that can claim to be. You'll know when you've reached that level, because you can do magical stuff. What else? The Pentecost. Oh goodness, how could I have forgotten that? So the Pentecost, and for this I just went to www.wikipedia.org. The Pentecost is the Christian, a Christian holiday celebrated on the 50th day or the 7th Sunday from Easter Sunday. It commemorates the descent of the Holy Spirit upon the apostles and other followers of Jesus Christ while they were in Jerusalem celebrating the Feast of Weeks, as described in the Acts of the Apostles. So in the Old Testament, they were Jews, probably celebrating Shavuot, right? And the fact that God had gifted them with the Torah. Jesus, as a Christian, and as a Jew, and the apostles, also mostly Jews, although some were Gentiles and converts, right? Practicing the same things in his absence, and then the Holy Spirit descends upon them as a result, while they're celebrating Shavuot. Anyway, the holiday is also called Whit Sunday or Whitsun, especially in the United Kingdom, where traditionally the next day, Whit Monday, would be celebrated also until 1970. It was a public holiday even. Since 1971, however, and remember last week I was all hung up on 1917, 1971, 1770. I was going like back and forth. I'm like, they're trying to tell me something. Maybe this is one of the things too. I don't know. But since 1971, by statute, the last Monday in May has been a bank holiday because of the Pentecost. Did you know this? Anyway, the Monday after Pentecost is a legal holiday in many European countries. In Eastern Christianity, Pentecost can also refer to the entire 50 days of Easter through the Pentecost inclusive. Hence, the book containing the liturgical texts is called the Pentecostrian. Since its date depends on the date of Easter, Pentecost is a movable feast. Pentecost is one of the great feasts in the Eastern Orthodox Church, a solemnity in the Roman Rite of the Catholic Church, a festival in the Lutheran churches, and a principal feast in the Anglican Communion. Many Christian denominations provide a special liturgy for this holy celebration. And that's all we have this week. Again, please do like, share, subscribe, and comment. I appreciate it. Namaste.